Welcome to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. For the next hour, you'll hear proven methods for how to live the multiple income streams dream. Ryan is passionate about helping others discover their gifts and start their own business. He's published 5 books, and his courses and group coaching programs have changed the lives of thousands of students all over the world. Ryan's books include Private Label, The Easy Way, Finding Your Grace Place, and his latest, Streams of Income. And now, here's your host, Ryan Rieger.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Streams of Income radio show. I'm your host, Ryan Rieger, and today we're chatting with my friend and longtime Legends member, Glenn Martindale. First time for him on my show. Great interview. I love doing these interviews. You know why? It's because I have no idea how they're going to go. I always like hearing people's stories and digging into that and talk about what their business looks like, what they're doing, because I want to pull out nuggets of information that I know would be a blessing to you guys that are listening. And then I always like to get some advice. But I had no idea we're going to go down some of these rabbit trails that we did, talking about print on demand and printers that for customizing products and all the different options that are with that. I knew we would definitely talk about what he's done with Wholesale and Private Label. And so it's just real quick, Glenn has now got these relationships built up with these companies, especially one in particular, where he is able to influence what they are purchasing overseas with their factories. And so he's doing Private Label. So he is testing things on a very small scale, creating listings based on his keyword research. And I wouldn't start there, but for those of you that are already doing replens and are thinking, okay, great, what's next? This is an awesome option for you to think about moving into Wholesale. He's still able to order small quantities of items, get them listed, get them tested, and get them sold on Amazon. So he's got an awesome business, awesome story. You want to say hi real quick?
Hi.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Awesome. So here is my interview with Glenn. Say, here's my interview with Glenn.
Hi, interview with Glenn.
Glenn, welcome to Streams of Income Radio. Appreciate you doing this with me.
Hey, thanks. I'm happy to be here and hoping that I can share a little bit and help new people and sellers out.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. You have a great story. So let's just jump into it. Tell us how you got started selling, what you were doing before that, and your entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, well, I was in a corporate job for 32 years,
Wow.
basically. But we're in a telecommunications company. I was in a smaller regional carrier out of Little Rock, Arkansas for quite a while. That's kind of where I started. So as rumors kind of started about buyouts and stuff, you get a little nervous about, okay, where am I going to end up? Because I help facilitate buying out 18, 20 different companies that we brought into our company, and we kind of know what happens.
Yeah.
A lot of people get laid off.
Yeah.
I had 4 kids. So my wife and I started a baby gift company.
Baby gift company. Okay.
Because we had 4 kids, we kind of knew about baby gifts. Stuff. So we did personalized baby gifts.
Interesting.
And we started that in 2005.
Okay.
And I didn't know a lot about, selling online and stuff. I just knew it was up and coming, if you will.
Yeah.
So I went to experts to learn. I went to people that knew what they were doing. Kind of like I've done with everything. I like to go to the best people that I can learn from, that kind of shortcut.
Shortcut because you can learn. I think pretty much anything. You could probably go into YouTube and learn the answer eventually, but your time and effort are way shortcutted if you find somebody that's already done what you're trying to do. Pay some money to them, buy a course or something, join a community, and you'll get there faster. Yeah,
the time and money, it's a big shortcut, and your experience is going to be different than anyone else's. So
right,
you kind of need some one-on-one helpful people in there that can give you some guidance on what to do to go to the next step.
Yeah, absolutely. So you looked for people who are already doing like personalized gifts?
Yeah, and I looked for people that knew how to sell online. And
Okay.
back then it was like Yahoo stores. Right?
Yes, I remember that.
That was the big craze. Yahoo stores.
Okay.
So we were doing, we started a Yahoo store, and we grew up pretty quickly. We went into a 1,500 square foot warehouse.
Wow.
We started with, neighbors' kids, people we
Uh-huh.
knew to help us. Once we
Mhm.
kind of grew out of the bedroom, we kind of started in a spare bedroom, with merchandise and stuff.
Yeah.
So we went into a warehouse and started selling from there.
Wow. So you had a Yahoo store. So if I went on there and wanted a baby blanket with Callan's name on it, I could go
Yeah.
on there and say, I want this baby blanket. There's probably somewhere on the order form that says, what do you want on there? I'd say Callan. And then
Yeah.
you would grab that order, grab the blanket and sew it on or do whatever your machine would do that. And then you would ship it to me.
Yep.
Interesting.
And we kind of took it step by step. We had someone doing embroidery for us at first. And then she was like, yeah, this is too much. I can't keep doing it. So then we were like, okay, we need to find someone else. So we found someone else to help us that had more of a commercial type business.
Yeah.
And they really were intrigued by the whole online thing. So they ended up coming to work for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we had our own embroidery machine, and they started doing stuff for us too. And that couple was an older couple, ended up being, I don't know how to describe it. It was, we couldn't have made it without them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
What they ended up doing for us was just incredible. So the way that business kind of turned back then is my wife ended up getting diagnosed with breast cancer. So that kind of really, it was mostly her, right? What do I know about baby girls?
Right. Because you were still working full time, right?
Yeah, I'm still working full time. I'm working full time. We got 4 kids. So this other older couple kind of stepped up and said, what do you need us to do? We'll help you run the business for you.
Wow.
Until it's kind of settles down, and she had to go through chemo and stuff to get through that. So they were really a godsend to help us make it through that time.
Wow. So they had machines that then would essentially, they could, I imagine it's like some type of, I don't know anything about this side of the business, but like a Cricut type machine that you could like probably input somebody's name and it would automatically do it.
Yeah, so it's an embroidery machine. We had just a small one that had like 6 needles to it, so we could do 6 thread colors at one time.
That's cool.
There's a lot bigger ones than that. This is more of a small commercial, almost home type system.
Yeah.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
But if we had overloads, our friends that came to work for us, they had commercial machines. That
Okay.
out some more faster.
Wow.
So,
Man, so you're getting an order, doing it one by one, but at least you had a machine that was doing it. So how big did that business end up getting to? Do you remember kind of like how many blankets or whatever you're cranking out a day, or what your sales were like for your best year?
Within 2 years, we were 20,000 a month, 25,000 a month.
That's awesome.
Doing shipping out stuff. So
wow.
We did some drop shipping back then. So we still have them accounts for other items that people would make and drop ship for us for it. So
that's awesome. With the Yahoo store, how'd you get people to even know about it?
It was a lot easier back then.
Yeah.
We were ranking quite a bit. We were selling a brand called Gund, G-U-N-D. It's like a famous brand of bears and stuff. We were the
so people were typing in Gund and finding you.
Yeah, like the Gund. We sold a lot of Gund baby toys and blankets and stuff.
Oh, that you personalized.
Yeah, that we personalized. And some of it we didn't personalize. It was probably maybe 25%. I don't know, 25% was personalized, and the other ones were just, So
you had an account with them, a wholesale account? You were buying wholesale?
Yeah, that was my first wholesale account. And talking to our rep, we were at one time their biggest customer in the whole Southeast.
That's awesome.
So that was
wow.
That was interesting. So we had pretty good discounts with them. and stuff.
Did you have to get any kind of permission to say, hey, we have an embroidery business. Can we take these bears and put somebody's name on them?
No,
You just did it.
you just did it. You don't.
Yeah.
That's one thing you can even do today.
Yeah.
By wholesale, as long as you say a wholesale company doesn't want to talk to you or doesn't want you to sell even on Amazon. But if you do personalization on that item, that's a whole nother.
See, Glenn, that's not something I don't think maybe you've talked about it in our circles, but I don't remember. We always talk about taking a wholesale item and bundling it with something else. We talk about private labeling it, taking it out of its package, put it in your own, but Gund is probably not going to want their unique bears and stuff under my brand. But if you bundle it in a way or embroider it and add some other value to it, then wow.
Then you can do it and sell it. And
interesting. Yeah, because then you get to use their brand name, because nobody's going to hear of the Rieger Baby Bear Company. Nobody cares about that.
Your company name.
They're typing in these big famous brands, and if I'm able just to take that item and embroider it or do something to it to make it unique to the person that wants it, that's fantastic.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do with it with nowadays, even with the technology that's out there with this UV printing and other stuff you can do. There's a lot of laser engraving, that type stuff, embroidery. There's a lot you can do with personalization.
Yeah. Would that have to be? So just we'll go back into your story because I'm fat, but now I'm thinking about this a whole other model here. If we did that, let's say we went with a famous company and we wanted to add personalization to it. Do you would that be Amazon handmade, or could that be, and then would it be like Amazon handmade at Etsy then as the platforms?
No, you could do this custom, Amazon custom. So if you get an approval for custom, which we sell custom items on Amazon, you can customize items and give the ability to do different things with it and upcharge it. So we have we have some items now that's just, you can just buy the base product just blank. And then there's an option for the customized option, which is like, $50 more to get it customized with whatever you want on it.
Is there, since you deal with a lot of wholesale companies, would there be a reason why they wouldn't want you to do that? I mean, I guess there's some that might be like, don't touch our products. We don't want somebody's name on our products, but what kind of response do you get from wholesalers when you say, look, I understand you may not, especially the ones that don't want they don't want anybody else selling that one product on Amazon. There's already 50 people doing it, or maybe they're doing it themselves. But then you come in and say, look, I'm going to have a unique listing and it's going to be a personalized listing. It's going to be one that's only custom. Are they pretty much cool with that?
I don't know. I haven't asked that question yet for some, because I've got enough products that they don't care.
Right.
about selling on Amazon.
Right.
So I don't see why they would not be open to that discussion. If you're talking about, okay, I'm going to take it could be whatever. It could be, maybe you got a laser engraver, because that's, you get it home, that's not that expensive.
Sure.
And so you want to take your item, but you want to personalize it with laser engraving.
Wow.
I've seen some options of people doing that with even, is it Damatco? There's some big companies out there that sell like Hallmark, these Hallmark stores that they've taken those products and actually personalized a message on them. So they just like took a small blank metal tag or tag, and they actually engrave it and put it on the figurine or whatever it is.
Wow.
So that I don't see why they wouldn't mind, unless someone's already doing that. But it's just a discussion you could have. You think there's one that's great, just talk to them.
Yeah. That's a way to make your items unique and do something different.
Yeah, it's not like you're just selling their blank product.
I would imagine you could even find, this is where we're brainstorming now. I definitely would I promise I'll get back to your story because I love hearing that. But I imagine there's probably already a company out there that does this, that does the laser engraving. You wouldn't have to go out and buy your own. You could just say, hey, company who already does laser engraving and embroidery and all that, here's a line of baby blankets that I want you to have on hand for me. And I'm going to be sending you orders, and they're just going to do it and ship it to my customer.
Yeah, there's people that do that. I mean, it kind of goes in the print on demand type.
Yes.
realm of businesses. But I actually found I went with a model that worked for me in the past, is finding someone that's kind of doing it as a hobby, making some money online, on the side. That's usually older. So I found an older guy here that's only like 5 minutes from my house that does laser engraving.
Wow.
So he does all of our laser engraving stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's really close and it works out pretty well.
That
Instead
is
of getting their
perfect.
own machine.
Yeah. Wow. Is he somebody that's interested in more business, or are you keeping him too busy?
No, he was interested in more business. He was doing some cut. He does embroidery too. We've had him do some embroidery for us when our machine was broken now too. But he was doing like name tags for churches.
Okay. Yep.
And stuff like that. A lot of things for churches.
Okay.
A lot of his business came from. And then you had like a lot of one-offs.
Wow. So does he just keep a supply on hand of your product, and then
I give him my product. Like I took some over there the other day.
Okay.
So kind of be a little ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
when I go pick those up, I've got 3 of them right now. I need to go pick up. I'll take him more.
Okay. So he finishes them, you go grab them, and you ship them to the customer?
Yeah, because he's only 5 minutes away.
Right.
It's a little easier. But you can do the same thing. I've already thought about backup plans with that, finding having other people that do engraving that would actually ship their product for me.
Yeah, I wonder if you can get a prep center that would that maybe would invest in one of these machines and add that to their lineup. That's
a whole another thing. I'm working with a small group of people right now that do engraving and UV printing. So UV printing, I don't know if you know anything about that. That's kind of a newer thing. It's kind of cool. It's kind of expensive. The machines are kind of expensive right now, but it prints and it uses UV light to instantly dry the ink. So you can print on wood, fabric, all kinds of items, different items, and really fast and efficient. It's not like the old screen printing or even directed garment printing. That you may have heard of. It's a lot faster. You can print on mugs, you can print on wood, you can print on just about anything, depending on how big your machine is. To do it. So
interesting.
I like that model a lot. It just, if you get one of those machines, you need to have enough business to support it because they're kind of expensive.
Interesting. Okay. Your wheels are turning in my head.
But I've thought of that business. So I've thought of that business before, to have those to offer, because you have these big print on demand sites, right? They kind of have their things, what they do, and have a more smaller system that's more unique items, not that everyone else is selling. That's like you need unique items that are quality.
Yeah.
You could personalize and engrave, because the testing on that is so much easier than like us when we buy a product, especially if you're doing a PL product, you're stuck with that design, right?
Exactly.
You can do some testing ahead of time. Like you can do, some testing to see which design may sell the best. But once you're stuck with it, you're stuck with it.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, it's unlimited. You can test so much faster and easier with designs.
Because you could just print one, or you don't even need. Would you even need to print it? Couldn't you just like have a mock-up like online, and then and they're like, "Oh, we sold one of those. Okay, now we got to create it."
Yeah, that's kind of you can just do the mock-up. You don't even need to have it printed off.
Wow.
Unless you're doing like videos with it or something,
right?
You can do a mock-up. I just had a video made. Really, it's the person in the background. They're talking about the product and our company, and then across the screen comes our product. Kind of shows it, and then it's like we can do it customized. And on the other side of the screen, it comes and it shows a mock-up of it customized. So they're not even really holding the product, but it's more interactive than just a picture, right?
That's awesome.
For it. And
does the person operating it need to have any special skills, or can anybody learn how to use that machine?
I think they're fairly easy. I haven't ran like those, but what I know laser engraving, it's fairly easy. It's just learning what setting to set it to.
Okay.
There's a little bit of training to it, but I don't think it's anything that complicated.
All right, we ought to talk offline about that because I have some ideas. Just thinking out loud here. Who knows? We don't want to. I don't want. There's a million good ideas. We need the right ones. I don't know if this is one of those right ones or it's just a distraction. But at least it's worth learning a little bit more about it, because we could probably have a prep center that gets one of those machines. Maybe like a couple guys like us buy the machine, put it in the prep center, and figure out some way to make that work.
I have thought about masterminding kind of that, of having machines where we have our own print-on-demand type products too, that we could sell to just a small group of people. That's not
exactly
print-on-demand companies.
Interesting. All right, we'll chat more about that. Okay, you got me excited. I love these conversations. I have no idea how they're ever going to go, and we end up talking about something I never even would have imagined. So you were doing the print-on-demand, the baby stuff. And then how long were you guys doing that before you switched over to?
Yeah. So we were doing that. And I guess the good news is I didn't get laid off or
get
bought out.
Right.
But I was the only one that got stayed on. Or whatever. We kind of just winded it down some. I didn't start promoting it. It's kind of, I didn't know what to do because I wasn't sure what was going to happen when we got bought. What's going to happen? Am I going to have to move? Am I not going to have to move? But I really didn't know what to do. So it did eventually come where, you're going to have to move. You're either going to have to move to New Jersey or Texas. So I'm like, well, that's not even an option.
Yes.
Sorry.
Not a hard decision there.
Texas is like, 5 hours away.
Sorry for folks in New Jersey, but you're from Arkansas, so that was an easy decision.
Yeah, I'm from Arkansas. It doesn't. And at the time, my sister already moved in here. She used to live about a mile from my house.
Okay.
And then she moved in here a year before I did.
Okay.
So that made it a little easier too.
Yeah, for sure.
Down here.
So when you moved, you kind of probably lost the contact with that couple, and that winded your business down.
So we kind of shut that down.
Yeah.
We were kind of already winding that down. Got rid of the warehouse. So we do still have that company.
Oh, wow.
But it's only, we're selling them mostly our past customers that's ordered.
Sure. Yeah.
Dozens and dozens and dozens of items from us. For paper stuff. So we still do have that.
Okay.
It's not anything I've focused on because I didn't know what to do. So anyway.
So it's a fairly passive stream of income then at this point for you?
Yeah. I mean, I don't spend any advertising or anything for it.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to figure out, I need to figure out what to do with it. Like, do I need to revamp their site? Needs to be redesigned. Do I go ahead and redesign it, get a little bit more traffic on it, sell it, or what to do?
Yeah. It's not a Yahoo store anymore, right?
Yeah. They still have stores.
They do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Yahoo. There's still a Yahoo store? Oh, my gosh. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they still have them.
Okay.
There's lots of platforms out there. But
that's cool. All right. So you moved to Texas, and then how far was it into that journey then that you thought, hey, let's do something different and get into Amazon?
Yeah, that was about 3 to 4 years after we moved, and that's when my son Andrew kind of came on. When he was a junior, I think he was a junior in high school. He wanted to do stuff online, sell stuff online. And I was like, well, you probably don't want to do baby gifts.
Yeah.
So we're like, I know some people sell on Amazon.
Okay.
That's kind of when I was like, I remember this guy, and I looked, and it was Jim Cochran, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I was on his email list from his eBay days.
Yeah.
Promoting eBay.
Yes.
And then he went to Amazon. So that's kind of when we started following Jim Cochran and
so the whole time you were getting his emails, and never did anything until Andrew was like, hey, let's do something. And so he was top of mind for you because you would, at that point, you would, learn to trust him pretty much because he was consistently.
Yeah, it was consistent
information. Yeah.
Information. And he's just been there the whole time.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's a great lesson right there. Cause you start doing something like a podcast or starting a blog. You may have people that for years just consume your content for free and never buy anything. Or at some point they're like, you know what? I think I'm ready to do something. Where am I going to go? Let's say, oh yeah, the guy that's been sending me the email, or the guy that's but I've been listening to his podcast for the last 10 years. Let's go that route.
Yeah, let's go that route and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was interesting is I did get an invite from Amazon.
Uh-huh.
I think it was about 2009.
Okay.
To sell on Amazon.
Okay.
And back then, it was so complicated. Like you had to be an engineer, which I wasn't.
Right. Which you.
But there's no way I could teach this older couple how to do it because it was so complicated.
Yeah.
To upload your stuff, and then I'm thinking, man, as soon as I put all my best sellers on there, they're just gonna rip me off and sell it. Which it's kind of short-sighted in one way. It's probably gonna happen, and it's happened, as we know.
Sure.
From stories. And they did eventually, they sell Gun. They were the Gun sold directly to them because these bigger companies, they're going to sell to Amazon.
Right.
For them. But that's not always the case. But it was more of it was too complicated.
Right.
Route to do it. And that, I probably should have jumped on it. But I had other things to deal with, right? You saw the job. We're moving. I got 4 little kids.
Right.
My wife and moving, and just a lot going on. So
this
was the right time to work back then. But so finally we're like, we need to get into Amazon and see what we can sell because we know nothing about what to sell in there. And that at that time, the baby stuff we were selling, Amazon was selling directly.
Okay.
Right? So it's kind of funny. We started buying from Amazon for our embroidery baby gear because it was cheaper to buy from them
than it was your supplier directly
from the source. So
oh my gosh.
So it kind of worked out better because we didn't have any inventory to keep.
Yes, you could just order it from Amazon as you needed it.
The next day we'll have it, or 2 days we'll get it. And if it's $1 more, who cares?
Right.
I have no inventory.
Yes.
Work. So that's kind of our business model now. We have a few things that we sell a lot of. I have a few on hand because they're notorious about retiring certain designs and stuff. Sure. So we have a few things like that. But anyway, so we kind of started going around, and we a lot of people started. We were just selling used items and books. One interesting thing, we sold a lot of VHS tapes. Okay. Not just blank tapes, but with tapes for kids, tapes with old concerts. Okay. Obscure people you would know, European bands, stuff like that people wanted. Yeah. But a lot of movies. Yeah. Where were you finding those? We were finding them on not on Facebook at the time, but it was on Craigslist. Okay. Just ads. Yeah. Garage sales. Yeah. Goodwill. Different places, find things like that. And I didn't understand what the market, why do all these people want this? And then I finally figured out because people were so happy. I was sending you an email. I'm so happy I got this because my kid needs to watch it. But their kid has some type of disability. They can't operate DVDs. Oh, they can just pop a tape in. You can't really destroy it. I mean, you can, but all you got to do is shove it in there and it starts playing by itself, right? Yes. You don't have to push buttons and stuff. That's true. So and once it plays, it just rewinds and plays again. Right. Right. So, or you can set it that way. Right. To rewind and play again, or it pops out or whatever. So it's not as complicated. So there's a lot of people using that for their kids. Okay. Younger kids that can do it. Yeah. And they have kids with disabilities that they can actually operate it. Wow. So you found your niche with VHS tapes. Yeah, it was VHS tapes. That's kind of the biggest niche, I guess it was. But that's awesome. How did you stumble? Because a lot of people, especially talking to new people, they where do I start? So why did you decide books and VHS tapes? How did you stumble upon that as your niche? And how long did it take you to realize, hey, we're going to kind of focus here a little bit rather than, a lot of folks starting out, they walk into a store and to do retail arbitrage and they're like, wow, there's millions of products here. I don't even know where to begin. Yet you kind of settled in with one or two things to start. kind of stuff we kind of knew. We had with having kids, we had hundreds of VHS tapes.
So you started with something around your house. You put them online because you weren't using them anymore, and they sold.
Yeah, I never occurred to me to sell them on Amazon. I just thought eBay. We sold on eBay for a while.
Okay,
but I never thought about these are actually selling on Amazon.
Okay, so you tried it, it worked, and so then you're like, okay, now I just need to find more VHS tapes. We sold all the ones in our house that we want to sell.
Yeah, we started finding more in the books. I kind of leaned into more of the technical books.
Yep.
Artist type books. What we were selling, because I was from a technical background, and some of these books are hard to come by or really
right. Yeah, they're more valuable because they're specific and they're specialty. Yeah. Okay.
And just how-to type books. Those type of books is mainly what we were selling. I did a few college books and stuff, and I never got into that, which was really big for quite a while, and still probably big now.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we started, and then we when you keep growing, so then we're like, how do we?
You got to find more inventory.
Yeah, what do we sell? And as you kind of learn the markets, as you dig in and start selling things, you just start learning things.
Yeah.
And as you start talking to other people, you learn more about what they're doing. And you're selling what?
You're part of a community, and you hear what somebody else is doing. Like, oh yeah, let's try that, and that works. And now you suddenly have, instead of VHS tapes and books, you got like maybe 10 different things that you might be focusing on.
Yeah. And there's a few tools even back then I use. I was always about keywords.
Okay.
I was more of a technical guy, right? So I was like, even when we did our baby gift site, it's like technically keywords. What are people looking for? And we kind of did that, follow that with, Jim Cochran's coaching and stuff too, about keyword research and stuff. That's kind of where we started at. So we started selling a lot of, we're like, what can we get here, locally can we buy a lot of? Fortune, and it, we kind of went down the Walmart path too, doing Walmart, some RA stuff.
Yeah.
On listings, it's already there. But then I started creating listings when we started selling like glassware type things. We sold a lot of Corelware items.
Okay.
And bundling it, making bundles in different sizes, and my own listings, mug listing, different listings and stuff I started making. And the sales were really picked up on them. Back then, you didn't think about, I need to make it, unique.
Right, because there weren't as many people doing it then. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I come find out, here's my friends, they're selling on my listing now too. And stuff, which is all, fine. As we started getting away from that, because we sold it for a good year and a half, 2 years. By that time, none of my kids wanted to touch bubble wrap anymore. I'm like, it's fun at first.
Right.
But after you bubble wrap all this stuff, they're like, I don't want to.
You're tired of it.
So, we kind of moved away from it. But the ROI was really great on it. Yeah. And it probably still is. And you learn more, and we worked back, even then it was a relationship with a store manager of the Corel store over in, Grapevine Mills. They're like, I'm like, how can I get a bigger discount? Well, you buy $1,000, it give you like another 15% off.
That's awesome.
Even with the 40% coupon I have, they're like, I was like,
okay, we'll do it.
Thousands of dollars every time, and using a coupon on top of a coupon where it was less than half price.
Oh my gosh.
So it made the ROI really good.
That was just by asking a simple question. How can I get a bigger discount? What do I need to buy in order to get a larger discount?
Yeah. How do I get a bigger discount than these if I buy in quantity?
Yes.
A lot more, because I knew I could move a lot of product.
Wow. Yeah. You tested out on a small scale. You probably weren't buying hundreds of items and then bundling them, right? And you start off with a few, and let's try these bundles. And
start off a few with some good discounts that they had. They'll have, if you get on people's mailing list, they send you the coupons and stuff.
You remember how you even stumbled? So you went from books and VHS tapes to Corel. So do you know even how you got turned on to Corel? Did you sell one at one point, and that sold really well, and you're like, oh, where can I find more of these? And you just went further down the rabbit hole?
I don't remember exactly how I got into it, but I can vaguely remember about how people have these sets, patterns that they have of their
Yeah.
dishes,
Uh-huh.
and they break, right?
Yes.
They want replacements for them.
Uh-huh.
So that was kind of the start of
Mm.
doing more of a replacement or complementary items to designs that were
Okay.
already out there.
Okay. That's
Which you can do
awesome.
with a lot of different Picasa and other ones. We sold some of those too, and there's a lot of different big companies that make, dinnerware plates and stuff that have designs. So
Wow.
that's kind of the rabbit hole we went
I
down.
love it. So then what did you go after you left that? The kids were tired of the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
What was the next?
We were doing, so I had a full-time job. RA was always kind of difficult for me.
Mm-hmm.
And even, OA was difficult at first until I kind of I don't understand how you find these products. So
Yeah.
I started buying a list.
Okay.
Like, I need to buy this list. What in the world are they selling?
Yeah.
How are they finding it? So I kind of went down that hole.
Okay.
And then you get this list. I'm like, I've never even heard of this store before.
Yeah.
Right? There's like hundreds and hundreds of stores.
Yeah, that you'd never heard of.
Yeah. But then there's also Walmart, Target, your
Mm-hmm.
Kohl's, your mainstream big box stores.
Right.
That's why they're buying stuff and it's not even on sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's selling for a lot. I was like, what? So it kind of opens your eye on the type of things that sell for more.
Mm-hmm.
And even as on list, not everything you're going to buy because everybody has their own requirements of what you're looking for, right?
Yep.
But it helps you go down rabbit trails.
Yeah.
I found this one thing. I'm like, oh, this is great. And you can go down the rabbit trail of that, something you've never even heard of before.
Yes. And you start checking that and looking, wow, this is profitable.
Yeah. And so is this color. And so is that design. And so is this that goes with this. And kind of looking at, on Amazon, looking at what sells with that item. Yeah. That's how kind of bundles come together too. But also individually, kind of opens your eye. The more rabbit trails, right, to go down to see what is this, and it's from the same store,
right? Yeah,
and just learning how to stack coupons, and discounts, discount gift cards, stacking all those up to where you're really buying it less than wholesale sometimes.
Yeah, wow, gosh, and you're buying it from a retail store.
Yeah, you're buying it from a retail store.
That's awesome. So I know you and Andrew are doing something really cool with one of your wholesale companies. How'd you care to share about that, how you found them and some of the things that relationship has allowed you guys to do?
Yeah. So, we're here in Dallas, so we've got to go to the Dallas market, right? I've always, been drawn more towards the wholesale side of it.
Yeah. Because you were already doing that with your baby company. You already knew how to
kind of knew
build
that
relationships with wholesale companies.
And also I actually grew up in retail.
Okay.
So kind of a funny side note is my dad owned what was called a Western Auto store.
Okay.
Back in the day, they were like in all these small towns.
Yeah.
And when I was old enough to drive and Walmart started coming, they were like 30, 45 minutes away from a big town. I would go over there and buy oil and other items for my dad to sell in the store.
Oh, that's awesome. You were doing retail arbitrage.
Yeah, I was doing retail arbitrage. I didn't know what it was, right? Way back then. So it's been around forever. It'll probably stay around forever, right? So I was doing retail arbitrage back then, but
that's awesome.
Brick and mortar store.
Wow.
I grew up in a small town, and I knew very quickly after working a couple of summers on the farm that that's not what I want to do.
Right.
Right. But I was always drawn towards retail, I guess, because growing up in that environment. And wholesale. So even as a kid, I went to wholesale trade shows and stuff.
Oh yeah, you were used to it.
I thought it was great because you get free food and free products. Right. It was like awesome.
Yes, get to hang out with your dad.
Yeah, you can hang out with mom and dad, get stuff free. It was all good. So I kind of came from that experience, so it wasn't so overwhelming. Like, let's go. And we went to Dallas market. Actually, when we lived in Arkansas, we came there to source baby gift items.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to Dallas market, and this wasn't the first time. We started going to every big gift shows and stuff. Talking to the temps and people that you sell on Amazon, even online. this was, like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Online, they don't even want you to sell online.
Right.
It's like, I'm like, what do you mean? But there's people that are, they don't care.
Yeah.
And we kind of gravitated towards the home decor items and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that stuff is not it's not marketed. It's not like labeled with logos and stuff on the items. Right.
Yeah. And the brand name doesn't even matter in some of the brand
name,
stuff.
they don't care.
People aren't searching brand names. They're searching for, like you said, home decor. So if it's a pumpkin for Halloween, for example, people are typing in glass pumpkin.
Yeah.
And
they're searching for that. And we sold a lot of pumpkins.
Yeah.
Unfortunately this year I couldn't get it from our supplier, but we sold a lot of decor pumpkins that were like the miniature ones that are all like made from natural materials.
Okay.
Anyway, so what caught my eye in this one place was some unique items they had that I haven't seen. Like, this is cool. And there's like 12 different versions. And I was actually there with my friend Andrew Gonzalez. It's always good to go with friends.
Yes, because they'll see something about something that you don't see. Or
Rachel may have been with us too.
Okay.
It's always good to go if you can with some friends who are in the business too, or even if they're not in business, if they got a good eye. Reach a lot of what sells, because it can be really overwhelming because there's just so much stuff. There.
Right.
You kind of have to break it down like you do when you're RAing, and Walmart. You gotta think of different sections. There's a sporting goods section. There's this. The core section. There's a different sections. So you really got to have a plan what you're looking for. If you don't, you just kind of go.
It's so overwhelming. Yeah,
it's really overwhelming. You kind of get a feel for it. So we go in and we start talking, to the owners, which we didn't know. This was the owner at the time. It was actually the owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, and about what they had. And I'm like, yeah, I like these items. You care where we sell it? Can I sell it on Amazon? He said, I don't care where you sell it. Like, you can sell it wherever you want to sell it. Like,
just buy it from me.
He's like, I've had people wanting to buy my stuff on Amazon, like wanting me to sell on Amazon, but I didn't want to deal with it. So they sold to Hobby Lobby, big brand stores. I can't think of all the names, but big stores. And then they still sell to Zulily, Wayfair, companies like that. So they sell to some big companies, but they used to get really big orders from Kirkland's, Hobby Lobby, these big box stores that they weren't getting anymore, because all the big box stores went to their own private label.
Yes.
And actually ripped them off of their designs.
Oh my gosh.
Their factories, and had them make their products like theirs.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah. So it happens in the retail environment too.
Yeah.
You hear about Amazon all the time, but it actually happens. It doesn't probably matter what business you're in.
Yeah. So he was a little bit hurt and he needed,
So I guess he kind of liked us, it's good having that face to face, whatever. And, ordered a few products from him and put them online. I think maybe it was only 2-3 designs maybe at the time.
Okay. And since you knew how to do keywords, you were able to set it up correctly.
I was able to set it all up, the listings up. I knew what people were searching for, and there wasn't many options of this product. So I did those. They started selling. So then I'll turn around, make another order.
Yes.
He's like,
and again, so for the folks listening, it wasn't even about that certain company, was it? It was about the keywords that are associated with the product. So let's say glass pumpkins was the product. It doesn't matter if it's the Rieger brand, the Martindale brand. You probably could have gotten something very similar from one of those showrooms just right down the hall. Possibly if they're there. It was just the fact that your keywords were relevant to that specific product. People weren't typing in this company's name with glass pumpkin They're just typing in glass pumpkin
Yeah.
and finding your listing because you had a good keyword rich listing. Now there are some wholesalers that their brand matters, like a gun, for example. People might be typing in gunned. People might be typing in Yankee Candle, which you can get those at the World Trade Center as well. And so those brand names are carrying that listing. But this is just a kind of a generic, for lack of a better word, no name brand. They have a brand name, but it's not a brand name that people are probably aware of.
Yeah, they're not searching for that brand name. And I kind of really didn't want that brand name. I wanted my own brand.
Right.
I didn't want them searching for that brand. So that's kind of what I was looking for, is to build my own brand and not that. So that's, separate from the whole.
So you put them on, you put these items underneath a new brand name that you created?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So we branded it ourselves, put our own logos on it.
Nice. Like okay.
And it was all from keywords that are non-brand driven.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So you bought some, they sold, you went back and bought some more.
Yeah. I bought more and more and more. And then he's like, okay, the guy knows what he's doing. And we started talking more and more about other items. What does he have? What can I sell? How much is too much competition? So they could have whatever, this wooden bowl. And if I go to Amazon looking for this wooden bowl and his wooden bowl doesn't stand out from everything else that's there, I'm like, it's probably not what I'm going to go after. Right. But you found something that was unique that you didn't feel like it was very well representative already on Amazon. That's what I like to do, is like when I'm searching for the keyword phrases, it doesn't have to be, a huge phrase, but 3,000 searches a month, 3,000 searches a month. If you look at that keyword and you see that page on Amazon and everything looks exactly the same, can you stand out from that? You probably can. Yes. And you just have to decipher, is everybody looking for what's showing up on that page, or are they looking for different designs? So when you get in the home decor market, it's about design, and it's a lot of differences, right? And can you beat those price points? Yeah. Stand out. Okay, so walk me through. Let's say we walk into this showroom and you see a bunch of stuff. You're probably not going to be able to do all that research right on the spot, are you? No. So like are you looking for, walk me, like you let's say I'm a complete newbie. I'm walking in with you. You're training me on your thought process, because there's trade shows all over the country, all over the world. And this will be gold for people right here. So I'm a newbie. I'm hanging out with you. What's your thought process going into a showroom like that? What are you looking for? And then what research do you do at home later to determine what orders you're going to place? I'm looking for a unique item that you don't see every day at the store. Okay. And because you've been doing retail arbitrage, you kind of know when something stands out, like, wow, I've not seen that before. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for. Are you going to take a picture of it there and then find out a price of it from the rep? Take a picture, look at the price point. Okay. Of it and just do keyword research later. And so for that, I would imagine that you would be like, okay, if it's a glass pumpkin and it's a unique glass pumpkin, you would think, okay, you take a picture of it, you get a price, then you're thinking, if this was on Amazon, how might somebody be searching for this specific one, and start thinking of keywords that are relevant to that product. And then look at what comes up, and like, there's nothing here. This keyword is definitely, because it's a green glass Halloween pumpkin, and all of them are orange. So you're typing in green glass Halloween pumpkin and there's no green ones, like they're all orange. That would be a clue that, okay, I could place this green one on Amazon with a listing, and anytime somebody types in green glass Halloween pumpkin, mine's probably likely going to come up, and it's going to stand among the rest of them, because every other one is a different color. Is that kind of a... Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like that. Okay. And then how many, when you order, are you talking about like having to order a case of those green ones, like maybe 12 or so? Yeah. So everybody's different. All the vendors are different. Some of them have pretty reasonable minimum orders, like $150.
Yes.
Other ones are just outrageous. Like 1,000 or
But you can easily get to 150 if those green glass pumpkins are $3 each. You buy a case of 12, that's 36 already. All you need is a few more items to test, and you're going to get to the 150 minimum pretty quick.
It's pretty easy to get to
the
minimums, and some of them even have lower minimums than that.
Right.
To do it, but it's pretty easy to get to the minimum. Maybe you want to try 2 different products. Maybe you've got something that's really related to it, or maybe you bundle it, with another product they have, which we've done too. And that was kind of irritating. We just got in some orders this week. As you know, the supply chain is really not good.
Right.
So this was a Christmas order, Christmas items.
Mm-hmm.
And we only got like half of our order. Well, the half we got is one item is supposed to be bundled with another item.
Oh, no.
Not here yet. And there's one item, I don't know if it's going to sell by itself or not.
Oh, geez.
So, but you get into that right now because the supply chain is messed up, and we've got some of them know better. So my supplier kind of knows what's going on. I mean, they know when their stuff's coming in?
Yeah.
But they don't know when it's going to ship. So we there's this one item I keep asking about, and he's like, it's been ready for over 40 days. We just can't get the container. They can't get the container and get it on the boat.
Oh my goodness.
It's been sitting at the warehouse.
It's just sitting there.
Yeah, trying to get it done. And this is actually one of the items that we went in with them, and as we developed a relationship with them, they started asking me ideas about what sells. I'm like, I don't know.
Gosh. So you're now influencing their decisions on what to source.
Yeah, so we're influencing their decisions on what to source, and design and stuff. And I help them best I can, or I ask my wife, what do you think about this?
Wow.
It'd be good like this. We need to change this, and this.
So they're bringing in them specifically for you, but they're also ordering enough that it would be for their regular brick and mortar customers.
Yeah. So the one that this particular one I was talking about has been sitting there. We helped design that one for them.
Wow. That's so cool.
So, and I did the research. I found it, Etsy, Pinterest, not on Amazon. There's like one of them on Amazon. I haven't looked recently. There might be 100 of them on Amazon now.
Right. Hopefully not.
Because it's sitting there. But everybody's in the same boat. They can't get items, right? So maybe there won't be. So we've got it coming in, but that they've been around for a long time, and I don't know what their revenue is. If they do a lot. So I'm thinking, one or two of these designs. Well, yeah, they've got like 4 different colors coming in and 2 different types, and like 1,200 of each.
Wow, 1,200 of each.
Yeah, which they're fine with, but they could have ordered less. But that's what they understand, that whole decor market. They think it's gonna be really hot. I'm like, I think it's gonna be hot, but how do you know? I don't know. But they've got a good feel for it. It's good to ask them about things too, because they send me like these bestsellers, like, you need to sell these. I'm like, what is this? He's like, they're selling like crazy. I'm like,
and you buy them and test them, and then they end up being right.
Yeah. Sometimes you're right and sometimes you're not. So there are some things that sell offline in brick and mortar stores that don't sell online that well.
Interesting.
And there's things that sell online that don't sell as well in the stores, at least locally where we are, because we're only able here to test. As you know, we have like a couple of booths here that we sell locally at like a mercantile store. And some stuff that flies off the shelf online, it doesn't sell there.
Interesting.
It could be just the locale, because a lot of brick and mortar stuff is all strictly on the region.
Yeah.
What people like there, and it may not be a nationwide thing that people love everywhere else.
Right.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Going up there stealing things from the booth, I got to sell it online, or things I can't sell online, I take to the booth and they sell.
Right.
So it's kind of good to play around with it.
Absolutely. So for the model you just described of going into a wholesale trade show or a gift show or wherever, and you're looking for unique items, in the replens world, we're talking about, you see something on the shelf, you're buying 2 or 3, testing 2 or 3 of each item. This is just to be a little bit bigger of a test. So is it somebody who's got a little bit more money to quote risk, Because there's a little more risk
Yeah.
there because you're creating new listings.
It's not something you want to start with.
Right.
Sure. You need, we're going back to it. We're trying to get more OARA back in our
Sure.
portfolio because just the stability of the different markets.
Yeah.
As we found last year, we took a big hit because our best sellers sold out even earlier this year. Like even now, so if I get, since we're not buying the containers, container loads yet, I'll get one that's selling really well, and then all of a sudden their customers love this item and they'll be sold out.
You can't get them. Yeah.
Sometimes they're sold out really fast.
Yeah.
But it's not always the case. So I'm just trying to be more diversified.
Yes.
So I will tell you, it takes a lot more capital
Sure.
to do it because you got to do testing. It's going to cost you to test the listing. You got to run some ads to it to see will it convert or not convert. It's a little more difficult because you have no reviews in the beginning. Right. So it doesn't convert like it does when it's seasons and has more reviews. So it takes a lot more capital to get it going on the front end.
Sure.
It's a lot easier to maintain. Like once you get it going, it's easier to tweak. Right. And it's easier to tweak as you see what maybe some keywords you never thought about before. Right. So we have this one customized item. Until people started buying it and I saw what they're putting on there, I didn't know it was used for confirmation gifts. Right. So then I'll put that in the listing and you see, it's also being used for personalized wedding gifts. Like, you put you put that in there. Yeah. Yeah. So you start building up on it, which you can't do with traditional OER, but you can do it, with bundles and stuff too. Anything that's you're on, you can just keep learning as your customers buy it. And grow. How much of your business, as far as percentage wise, would be like the traditional RAOA, you're buying somebody else's brand versus what you're doing with this one company and any other companies you're doing that with, where it's their product, but your brand? Yeah, I think we're about down to 80-20 now, 80% private label. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. I'm trying to make it, we were at like 90. Really wasn't that good. Is that where do you want it to be? Do you want it to be 50-50? You want to add more? Because you said you want to add more RAOA back in the mix. I think probably 60-40 maybe. 40? Okay. I just need to grow. Part of it is it takes a lot of work, initial work to get the listings and do the research. Finding people that can do that for you. I'm outsourcing some of it now to get it done quicker because it takes me way too long to do it. Yeah. But I think that's probably a good kind of ratio. We'll just kind of see more like pivot when you need to. Yeah. See what works. But the OARA is so much money there. Right. You need to keep it going. In my opinion, you need to keep it going, that cash flow going, because I know that that's not where I want to be at the end, probably. At least not me doing the OARA. Maybe I've got my own buyers. And I've got people making decisions on what to buy, and not in there doing it myself. Right. But then you need to take, you have a lot more, what do you call it, expenses in doing that. So that's one advice I would give newer people. I mean, it's first, like, it depends on how big you want to be. I don't think coming into this, even selling anywhere, if it's not just Amazon online, you could do something like Etsy and you just want to do it as a hobby, it's fine. Yeah. But you need to treat it like a full-time business. That's right. Or it's never going to grow what you want it to be. So where was I going with that? We're talking about the percentages of RAOA versus private label. You want to get this like 60-40. Yeah, the OARA is more of a cash machine to take that cash and use it somewhere else to grow. To try. Would you use that at this point in your business? Are you taking that RAOA cash and using it to fund a new test projects with the private label? Yeah, I'm testing a few different things. I want to get the private label where I want to sell it. Right? Yeah, sell the brand off. Yeah, because I think that's really where you make the leaps and bounds. If you can grow something in 3 years and sell it for 10 times the amount, you're 10 years ahead of where you would be, and then just repeat it. Absolutely, and just do it over again because you got the system down. You could easily replicate it. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just setting it up right. And the one I have now, I probably didn't set it up correctly, but you learn
Sure.
how to do it. You just keep
Yeah.
moving forward and keep doing
Well, you
things.
can sell just part of your SKUs. There's the
Yeah.
podcast episode I did with a guy named Kilduff. Gosh, Emmett Kilduff in Ireland. He has a company that helps people sell. He says you can sell off certain ASINs.
You sell off certain ones are the part of the business. But the good thing I have noticed about doing the brand on Amazon, I've gotten so we have our own Shopify store, right? So I usually create the listings on Amazon, I import them into my Shopify, do some changes on them, then I'll push them to Walmart, Etsy, eBay. Not all of them to Etsy. I only have like 3 products on Etsy right now. It's more the custom products that I'm testing. Cool. But it doesn't take as much work to push them to these other marketplaces and sell them.
Once you've got them.
And so I'm seeing people come in because I have like an exit questionnaire on the site. One of them is like, "Why? How did you find us or whatever?" And they're like, "Oh, you saw your stuff on Amazon, and I'd rather order it from you directly."
That's cool. You like that too?
Yeah, I like that because I like to build up the list. We're trying to build up the list.
Yes.
To keep marketing to.
Come out with new products. You can tell them.
Yeah, I really want at least half of our income not to be from Amazon.
That'd be awesome.
Right. That's kind of so that's my goal is I don't want to be strictly OARA, everything in Amazon's basket because I'm doing this full time now.
Yeah.
I want it to be more off Amazon and eventually, have your own brand and even maybe sell wholesale.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of wholesale markets that's blowing up. Like we've talked about them on one of the webinars. A lot of mom and pops are ordering from these places instead of going to market because it's so much easier just to order it online, and they get all these benefits from ordering from these companies. Like right now, I think at Fair, which I've talked on the podcast, they're offering like 90-day financing right now.
Oh my gosh!
After Christmas, so we're going to order in today. I think it's only till the 10th or so. We're trying to get some orders in now, so we don't have to pay for them until after Christmas. So they offer things like this you won't get necessarily.
You won't get directly. Yeah, and you just mentioned Fair, FAIRE.
Yeah.
Fair.com. Wow.
That's one of the bigger ones. And there's just all kinds of products. And there are people that don't sell to e-commerce on Fair. People that do. You just have to, work like you do with any vendor.
Sure.
Do you allow me to sell this at certain places or do you allow me to bundle it? That's
or create bundles. Yeah. So I'm not competing with your other sellers.
And I've successfully had a couple of people on Fair that only sold to brick and mortar, change their profile to where I can buy from there.
We can buy from them. That's cool.
Yeah. So you have to work with them and offer something different.
Yep. It's about building relationships, just like your company you're working with now and working with them to design products for them. That's really cool.
That's kind of cool. I never really thought it was going to go that way.
Right.
And the more we work with them, I'm glad that they're the ones dealing with the logistics and the factories, because that's a whole nother can of worms.
Right.
That is like dealing with Amazon is enough for me.
For sure.
Deal with Amazon and these factories, not just the factories, but then the logistics of everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. So it's worth me paying more to have them.
For sure.
Do it.
We love that.
They've been able to hold their prices kind of low. So you're seeing a lot of wholesalers adding on 15, 18, 20% shipping surcharges on top of the order because they're getting robbed, right, from astronomical shipping fees.
Right. But they've been able to keep theirs the same or at least low.
Yeah. They've kept theirs pretty low. I just got 2 pallets in for free shipping from my supplier. But when you get free shipping from a supplier, they're going to do whatever they need to do to make it as cheap for them as possible, right? So these pallets were 92 inches tall. They wouldn't even fit in the truck they sent.
Wow.
They had to take off the tops of the pallets, the items off the top, and put it down. And I have a picture of it that came in. Andrew and I was standing there, and we weren't there. The whole thing would have came off the truck because the guy's lift gate's not the greatest. And
no.
Tall and hanging off.
Yeah.
So as he started to go down, the corner of the pallet was still on the truck.
Oh no.
And Andrew and I was holding it up, right? We're like, hey, well, at least, it's not like 100-pound items. It's kind of heavy, but not that much. He's like, yeah, I'm glad you're there. I'm like, yeah. But they came on 2 pallets, because if they would have done 3, it would have cost a lot more.
Yeah.
Like for 3 pallets. So they stacked them up like 92 inches tall.
Wow. That's amazing.
But you get, anytime you can get enough to get the free shipping, in this case, we have to order, like $3,000 to get free shipping, but it's worth it.
It makes a difference in discounts.
The more it gets a lot easier as you get more volume, you get bigger discounts, more incentives like free shipping, things like that. It starts building, so your profit margin can go up. So if you can just start with, if you make anything at all, it's kind of a win.
Yes,
because of all the costs you have to do in the front end of it.
Right.
Increase your profit as you build it bigger.
Yeah, I love it. Wow, Glenn, this has been awesome. I feel like there's so much more here. You could have a whole course on all this stuff, but we'll cut it off there, because I could ask hours and hours of questions, and there's just a lot of training involved. Like so many options. So
there's a lot of options.
Have to have you back on to talk more. So thank you, sir. I appreciate you being on with me, and
thank you, and I hope some people got some insights, and
I guarantee you,
grow their business
for sure. Yep. Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Streams of Income with self-help author Ryan Rieger. From right here in the Dallas Metroplex, Ryan teaches several entrepreneurial courses and group coaching programs to students all over the world. Be sure to listen next week at the same time for Streams of Income with Ryan Rieger.